What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And man, it's been a while. It's been like 5 months since I uploaded a video. I'm sorry. Life has been extremely crazy, but today I'm hopping back on the Hawk. I've done some work on it. In today's video, I'm going to update you on where we are, and I'm going to keep just working on this thing. The weather's getting nice, so I want to get this thing back on the road. And yeah, so let's hop straight into it. Alright, so to give you a little bit of an update on the truck, the videos you're seeing here, I had to mute a lot of the audio because the speaker was messed up on my phone during that time, and so, yeah, I'm having to voice over. Anyways, so you can see I am working on the wiring on the truck, having to switch the polarity of the coil packs and just extend wiring and that sort of thing, just trying to get everything buttoned up, hooked up, and ready to go to get this thing fired up. There you have it. Coil polarity is reversed and all tucked nicely in there. This will get some lume on it, and then it all just disappears. And as you can see here, I have had to modify the coolant crossover tube, so just to make clearance for around the coolant reservoir and that sort of thing. So I'm just cutting it up, moving the inlet for it, and getting that all squared away. Once again, guys, if it's not audio problems with the mic, it's me losing my voice again. So I apologize for that. I don't usually sound like an 80-year-old smoker. So I was having issues with the coolant crossover tube, as you were seeing in that previous time lapse. Had to modify it to fit. So this is the Mark 8 one. I took the original inlet off of it, welded that up. This is from the Aviator crossover tube. It came off the side, but it came off the towards the passenger side. So I cut that off. And then I looked up what a Marauder crossover tube looks like. The Marauder has it coming off the driver's side like this. And then it's got this other one coming off the bottom. So I'm kind of mimicking that. And so I'm going to weld this onto the side here. And that'll be my new coolant crossover tube. Just like so. It fits actually pretty well. Let me get this thing all welded up. Alrighty, so the coolant crossover tube is all painted up. Not the best looking thing in the world, but it looks better than it did. Let me get this installed. It did, from welding and cutting, it moved a little bit, so it's going to probably fight me to get this reinstalled. That's down all the way. Alright. The other thing I did... What? Yeah, it's Sissy's bike. I need to make a adapter. I don't know if you can see on this hose. To connect these two hoses together for this bypass. So I'm gonna cut a piece of tube. I don't have a bead roller, but I'm gonna weld a bead around each side so that once I clamp it, it doesn't pull apart. My goal is to get the cooling system all buttoned up. I've got the upper radiator hose figured out. I've got this one figured out. I just had to figure out the lower, but I think the lower is fairly simple. I do need to hook up the heater core lines, but I'd like to go get the radiator in here. Because once the radiator's in, I got most of the wiring done. I got to wire the starter up. Oh, and then I need to make my adapter for the throttle body, which I'll explain in a minute. But once that's done, then we can try and test fire it. Verify that things work. Well, fuel lines too. That's the other thing. I'm converting this from a returnless system to a return style system. So I have to do that as well. So, you know, all there's left to do is everything. All right, so the clamps are on, and I was actually just looking at the radiator, and I jumped on Amazon and I think I found a solution that's cheap. So this is the stock cooling fan. It's super thick. Let me get my tape measure out here. So I'm already tight for room. This notch I made is for that that one radiator hose going down. So that shows you how tight it is. If you look, that's 6 inches. If I can remove this and put some smaller, like, 2-inch thick fans on there, that's going to free me up a ton of room. I'm also running into the issue of this running into the that coolant crossover tube, so I'll have to relocate this anyways. And this is just a simple relocation. So ditching this big bulky Ford fan, I think is what I'm going to do. And I found these two 12-inch cooling fans on Amazon for 36 bucks. So I'm going to go for these. And so ditch this big old fan and try these guys out, wire them into the factory fan wiring, which is going to help me with a whole lot more room, because I believe the hot side pipe from the passenger side is going to have to come across, or come up and come across in front of the radiator anyways, because I can't go down under the vehicle because of how low this thing is. So I think this is going to help me out overall. All right, let's pop this fan off here. Nice to get all these lines buttoned up. Okay. Oh, no. Dang it. That's why I want to get these lines buttoned up, because I'm tired of fluids leaking everywhere. Goes on here like so. And then this will go on here. Perfect. It's going to have a butt ton of clamps in it, but, we got an upper hose. I got a ton of room here now for exhaust work to go through if it needs to, when it needs to. And yeah. All right, I'm liking this. I'm liking this a lot. Let me get that fan ordered, so it's here soon. All right, cooling system is wrapped up. Everything's clamped there. I was able to just take the low radiator hose, cut a little bit off of it, stuff it onto the bottom down here. It's all clamped up. And then I also was able to get heater core lines all connected up pretty well. So next step is the throttle body adapter, because I need to adapt. Oh, I forgot I'm still wired up here. So I need to adapt the drive-by-wire Crown Vic throttle body to this Mark 8 engine. The Mark 8 throttle body normally is right back here, and it's drive-by cable, and obviously single blade, dual blade. So my plan is using the Crown Vic elbow. I've already cut a plate to fit the bottom of it. And then, where's my other plate? Here's my other plate. This will go on the intake down there. I've made a block off plate for the EGR and the idle air control, because that's all done in here. And screw EGR, because this is blocked off here as well. So this is going to go on there. So I need to cut a piece of tube, I think 3-inch tube, and it's going to basically be an upside down like Y. So it'll Y out, and then it'll taper back to 3-inch to here, so that this throttle body sits roughly right there, right centered on top of the intake, pointing forward. So I got to get a piece of 3-inch pipe or two and get that cut. Okay, so I went ahead and got that painted, and then also went ahead and installed it. So see that here? Let me get a light. So I got that installed there, and I also went ahead and spray painted this factory elbow, and actually shaved off. There's like a bracket on the side and some other random casting. I should have got that, but I missed it. So that's all painted and on. Both are installed. Throttle body's on. So that's how that's going to look. And the other thing I've been started working on too is the driver's side exhaust manifold. So as you can see, it originally came off the end here, which wouldn't have worked because it would have run in the water neck. So I capped that off, and then it had a piece of stainless pipe come up. I welded a V-band onto it, and then I had to notch it back there for the steering shaft. So driver's side manifold is ready to go. I need to work on the passenger side one now. It's down here. It's already partially cut. Have to rework that, kind of get it come up into that same area. I'm working on these now so that I'm going to test fire it before I get fully into the turbo hot side stuff, just to verify that, you know, it'll run and I'm not chasing down wiring issues later. So I'll fire it up on the stock injectors, stock MAF, stock everything, and verify that it runs, and then I can continue working on the rest of it. So I'm gonna get that manifold on. That way, when I do fire this thing up, it's not just, you know, straight out of the head, blowing into the frame rail and heater box and wiring and brake lines and whatnot. Okay, so starter wiring is in. Started kind of plugging some more things in. Obviously, this is all going to get addressed. Passenger side manifold's on. I cut that back a little more, and then I think I got a game plan going here. Get my marks lined up. So that's going to come off of there, something like that, and then it'll probably get cut somewhere in this area, and that's where the V-band flange will get added on, and then I can build the rest of the hot side from there. So that way the crossover tube is not connected, you know, to one manifold. So if I got to get a manifold off, it's not impossible. So I think I'm going to pull this manifold off and get this tacked up, maybe get this cut off, and see where I like my flange for the V-band. So let me get that pulled off and tacked up. And as you can see, got that shortened up, V-band's all cleaned up and welded on there. And so now I just got to wrap up a few more little odds and ends, and then we can test fire this thing. Okay, so I've made a little bit more progress on this, and I think I'm just about ready to test fire it. Alright, this is where we stand. This exhaust is just kind of got a little, well, I got the V-band and stuff on it, and this isn't welded, it's just stuffed in there to direct, you know, fire and flames. Well, technically right now right into the radiator. Return line is into that can because I don't have a return line actually ran yet. Battery is sketchily set there. That's sketchily set there. That's going to be a massive vacuum leak. That's a massive vacuum leak. Okay. Yeah, looks like it's ready to run. So let me see if I can't get this thing fired up. And hopefully when this thing fires up, I have oil pressure. I'm gonna be watching that gauge, because if this thing doesn't have oil pressure, I'm gonna be really happy. All right, let's see if this thing will fire off. Heard the throttle body actuate. Nothing. All right. Oh, that's why. Okay. Most of this stuff is clear, the belts. Starter was unplugged. Ha!
Wow! You like that? Yeah, 1,050 views, I hope. We got oil pressure. I'm not sure why it was over 100. That's concerning. Although I put 1540 in here and it's cold. And I don't know. That's mildly concerning. But hey, it fired right up. So I'm happy about that. All right.
There you got it. Hawk runs again, finally. So next up, in the next video, we're going to be doing the hot side piping. And then I just got a bunch of parts in, cooling fans, and some other stuff needed. The piping for, should be all the piping for the hot side. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and tune in next time, because getting that much closer to making boost. Thanks for watching.